Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my February TBR. Now, similar to how I filmed my January TBR video, I'm not going to spend very long talking about the books that I have on my February TBR. I will most likely just be sharing the title and the genre that they fall under. If I have anything more to say about the book, I will share it, but for the most part, I just want to keep this video quick because I do have a lot of books to go through. I do have 33 books on my February TBR. Will I get to all of them? I'm not quite sure. It is January 29th right now, and I have already read 28 books so far this year, so I can probably get to most of them, but having these extra books or having a lot of books, I guess, on my TBR gives me a little bit of flexibility, as I do tend to be a pretty solid combination of a TBR planner and also a mood reader. So my list does consist of a lot of different books from a lot of different genres. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right into the books that I have on my TBR. First, I'm going to be talking about the book club books that I am reading this month. First up, we have It Happened One Summer by Tessa. This is a contemporary romance, and I'm reading it for the book Boyfriends Are Better book club, which is co-hosted by me and a couple of friends over on Bookstagram. If you would like to join us in this book club, feel free to click the link in the description down below. We tend to chat a lot on Discord, but I think I might make an Instagram chat for this month as well. Next, I will be reading Haunting Adeline for a new book club, which I believe is called Give Me All the Spice book club. This is a spicy romance book club, and I am very excited to pick this one up. I think I already mentioned it's a dark romance. It's a chunky book, but I have heard that this book is something else, and I am very much looking forward to reading it with a bunch of really great people. Yeah, there's that one. And then the last book club book that I'll be reading in the month of February is The Silent Woods. This is a mystery thriller, and I'm reading it for the Book Troop book club, which is hosted by Gabby Reads. Moving on to my physical TBR, these are books, a lot of them that I've had for quite a while now. One of my goals for 2022 is to focus more on my backlisted books that I own, and there are a lot of those on my TBR for this month, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about each one really quickly. First, I have A Little Life. I plan to do a whole reading vlog for this one and the author's newest book, which is called To Paradise. Not sure how long that vlog is going to take me to make. This book might take me all of February to read. I'm not sure yet. I am scared to read it. I have heard it is a very hard book to get through, but I've also heard it's amazing at the same time. So I have very mixed feelings going into this one, but I will be reading this one at some point in February. Next, I have The Second Best Haunted Hotel on Mercer Street. This is one of the books on my 22 books to read in 2022 list. It is a middle grade fantasy paranormal thing. It's a book, and it's pretty. That's all I know about it right now. I also have Sadie on my February TBR. This is another book from my 22 books to read in 2022 list. This is a young adult mystery with podcast elements woven throughout it. Next, I plan to read The Worst Best Man. This is a contemporary romance. I was gifted this one by the publisher a couple months ago, and I'm excited to read it. I don't really have much to say about it, but the cover's pretty, and I'm excited. I also plan to read The School of Good and Evil, The School for Good and Evil. This is another middle grade book. I've owned this book for quite a while and plan to do a reading vlog of this one and also the other middle grade book, which was The Second Best Most Haunted Hotel on Mercer Street. So keep an eye out for a reading vlog coming in February featuring this book and also the other middle grade book that I have on my list for the month. Next, I have a couple of romances that I plan to read. I've already talked about multiple romances in this video, but I have some more. First is Give Me a Reason. This is a stunning book. I got it in August or September of 2021. Haven't read it yet, but I'm excited to pick it up. I'm excited to pick all these books up. That's why they're on my TBR. But this is a romance, and I think it's spicy, so yay. I also plan to read The Dancer and The Masks. This is another dark romance. I am also in love with this cover, and also the chapters are introduced with beautiful pictures. So this one is going to be good. I think this is the first in a duet, and the second book comes out either in January or sometime in the next couple of weeks, I believe. So if I love this one, I will definitely have to get a copy of the second book. So the next book that I have on my TBR is a book that I do have a little bit of a story to go with it, and that book is Badly Behaved by Brandy. I found this book at Goodwill for $1.50. But not only is it a hardback book, but it is also a special edition from the Bell book box. I don't know how I got so lucky to find this book in Goodwill for $1.50, but I did. And not only did I find this book at Goodwill, but I also found 2 other books from the same book subscription box, and I bought those ones as well. So basically, I found 3 beautiful limited edition books for less than $5, and like, I'm still like in shock over it sometimes when I look at the books that I got from Goodwill. I'm just like, wow, like what were the odds of me going into that Goodwill on that day in a state that I don't even live in, because I got the books in North Carolina, and finding three limited edition books for super cheap. But anyway, yeah, this is another romance, and I am absolutely in love with the cover. February is apparently the month of romance because I also have This Time Next Year on my TBR. I was going to read this on New Year's Eve a couple weeks ago, but I was sick and I didn't have the audiobook, so I decided to hold off on that until I could get the audiobook. So I plan to listen to this one as I read it physically, and hopefully I enjoy it. This is a contemporary romance. I also have Transcendent Kingdom on my TBR. This is either contemporary, literary, or historical fiction. I could not tell you which one. I got it from Book of the Month a long time ago, and it is now finally time to read it. This is the 3rd book that I have on my TBR that is from my 22 in 2022 list. Speaking of pretty covers, I mean, most of these books have covers that are absolutely stunning. I also have the Ballerinas on my TBR. This is a thriller, and I am buddy reading it with my friend Stasia. Every time I talk about Stasia on my channel, which is almost in every single video, I say my friend Stasia, and I probably don't need to really say that anymore because y'all know probably by this point that Stasia is my friend. So Stasia and I are buddy reading this one in February, and I don't know, I'm in love with the cover. I get good vibes from it, so I cannot wait to pick it up. I bought this one at Barnes & Noble when they were having their 50% off hardback books sale. I will also be buddy reading Razorblade Tears with a friend on Bookstagram. This is another thriller, and I've also had this one since it came out and need to finally get to it, so I will be picking this one up in February as well. The last book that I have on my physical TBR for the month of February is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This book was recommended to me by Erin. This is for my 12 and 12 challenge for the year, and I already have the second book pre-ordered, even though I haven't even read this one yet, but I am in love with the ACOTAR series, so I have very high hopes for this one, and I've heard a book 2 is supposed to be spicier than Silver Flames, and if you've read Silver Flames, you know that that one was amazing. So I have the highest of expectations for book 2 in this series, but I'm also very excited to finally pick this one up. I think I might do a reading vlog for it and the sequel, but we'll see when I read this one in February because I'm not quite sure how I want to like make my schedule for the month yet, so we'll see when I get to this one, but I do plan to read it. It will be getting read. It is non-negotiable. I'm speaking that into existence. Moving on to some arcs that I want to read for February. I've actually been gifted a couple of arcs in the mail recently, so I do plan to read 2 of those during February. The first is Unmasked. This is a true crime book about a person who spent their life solving cold cases, as is said on the cover. This book comes out in April, but the letter that I received with it from Celadon asked me to review it by February 28th, so I'll be reading this one in February. I think I might do a reading vlog with this one and also The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I was not expecting to get this one in the mail. It was a total surprise to me, and I am so excited and honored to have received it. I really enjoyed the other book by Lucy Foley that I have read, the name of which I cannot remember. It's not The Hunting Party. I've totally blanked out on what the other book is that I've read by this author. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I might do a reading vlog reading these 2 arcs because this one does come out, The Paris Apartment does come out in February, and this one I've been asked to read in February. So yeah, I think I'm gonna add a reading vlog of these 2 books to my list of vlogs or videos to film during the month. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 NetGalley arcs on my TBR for February. The first one is Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. I love Elle Kennedy's books. I've read 5 so far and they have all been 5 stars from me, so I have nothing but high expectations for this book. This is a contemporary romance, and I also believe that it is the first book that is being traditionally published by a publishing house, which is really cool. Super excited for Elle Kennedy and the opportunity. Next, I have Mercenary Princess on my TBR. This is a romance. Surprise, surprise. I also have Good Rich People. This is a thriller. These Deadly Games, which is a young adult thriller. Reckless Girls, which is another thriller. A Stranger's Guide, which is paranormal, I believe. And finally, I have A Duke in Time on my TBR. This one is a historical romance, and I do believe that I will also be adding 2 more historical romances to my TBR. I was contacted by a tour company yesterday about doing a couple of reviews for books that are coming out under the historical romance genre. So I know that I have at least 1 book coming in the mail for that, maybe more. So might be adding a couple more books from that genre to my TBR for the month, but I'm gonna wait to hear back to see. The last section of books that I have on my TBR are books from Kindle Unlimited or Libby. First from that list, and most of these are going to be romance. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not complaining about that. First, I have A Worthy Opponent by Katie Roberts. I also have The Bastard's Betrayal by Katie Roberts. King of Battle and Blood. King of Blood and Battle. No, it's King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. This is another romance. I've read A Touch of Darkness by the same author and thought it was okay. So I'm gonna give this one a shot anyway and see if I like it better than that book. I also have Tomi and Frankenstein by Jonji Ito on my TBR. These are 2 manga. I really love Junji Ito's works. I think that the author's horror style is terrifying but amazing at the same time. So I have these 2 books that are currently on my shelf from Libby. I also have Sacrifice by Katie Roberts. This is another romance. And I have Allison Shatters the Looking Glass. This is a romance. All of these are romances. This is the 3rd book in a trilogy. I binge read the first 2 books in the trilogy last week and definitely plan to get to this one as soon as possible. I need to know how the story ends. The last 2 books that I have on my February TBR are The One by John Maas. This is a sci-fi thriller, I believe. And then finally, I have Slaughter. This is a romance, you guessed correctly. That was like a rapid fire TBR video, but I'm here for it. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I will be doing reading vlogs throughout the month for a lot of these books, and I will also be trying to go more extensively into them in my wrap-up video. Might end up doing a mid-month wrap-up and an end-of-the-month wrap-up depending on how much I end up reading. Will I get to all 30 whatever of these books? Likely not, but this gives me a lot of options and I will be able to be a mood reader while following this TBR plan that I have listed out. I think that's all for this video. I feel as though there was something else that I wanted to mention that popped into my head about 20 seconds ago, and I can no longer remember what that thing was. So I guess that is all that I have for my February TBR video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.